What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mission Pro Wrestling's Unmatched. I am here, front row in Charlotte, and here's my favorite host from the West Coast, Trenda. What's up?
Hey, front row. I am excited tonight, ready to talk some pro wrestling. We had a lot of great matches this week. So and then we have a pay-per-view this weekend. So let's get to it.
There's a lot going on. I agree.
Woo.
Yeah. Oh, and I see people in the chat. We've already got Tony Justice is there. I see Matthew. I see. Wait, that's Trenda. Is that another Trenda? No, wait, that's you.
I
Mrs.
am
Front Row
also
is in
in
there.
the chat.
Yeah, so this is show week, man. This is what we've been waiting for. We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks. It's going to be an exciting show. Saturday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, Title Match Network or San Antonio. If you are local, get your tickets. I think front row sold out. I think there may or may not be any second row seats left. I think we were very close to selling those out. And there's a lot of general admission tickets that have been sold. So if you're in the area, you're really going to want to be there for this one. I see
Yeah,
Pepe in the chat.
it's some super exciting matches going to happen this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. So
Agreed. I see R.A. Davis. We've got Marks in there tonight. Man, everybody's in tonight.
hey, Marks.
Nice. Okay, so before we really sort of dive into the week in pro wrestling and the week of women's wrestling, let's talk a little bit about Edge of Glory. So I'm gonna run down the card real quick. I know Emily and Veda did a great job covering all the matches on the last two episodes of On a Mission. We had a very lively chat on Tuesday night. It was a very exciting show. Let's run down the card here real quick. So I think we have Casey Blackrose versus Max Heights. This is a singles match. I'm also really looking forward to this match. Tiffany Nieves and Shea Carmichael. Tiffany Nieves has really built a name for herself in Mission Pro, and in my opinion, one of the rising stars in the promotion.
Yes, I second that. She really has come out on top lately. So I'm looking forward to seeing this match and seeing if maybe she can even be dethroned.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. This match. So last week, this match was made an official RCW Phoenix Championship match. Vanity is your current reigning defending champion. Is defending against Alejandra Lyon. Both women have been in Mission Pro. Both women are very physical, very fierce competitors. My pick for this one is Vanity, just because I think she's. We've been talking about Vanity and how hard she's worked to transform herself. You think so too?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've been saying it from the beginning. You know, we've been talking about this particular match. It's definitely one I'm really looking forward to watching because of the fact that both of these women are legendary here in Mission Pro, and Vanity seemed to be the underdog, and a lot of times in the chat from a lot of our viewers. So I've watched Vanity. I've come to see that she's grown a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing her now defend her title, since this has become a title match. And yeah, I got Vanity for the win. Yes.
Same. Who knows? Could be an upset. We'll have to wait and see. So
Hey.
this matchup, if you've been paying attention to our socials, we posted a video from Misty Marks the other day, and she had some choice words for Dream Girl Ellie. Dream Girl Ellie was just on AEW this last week as well, on Dark on AEW Dark. She's everywhere. She's building a name for herself, but Misty Marks feels like she's the Texas wrestler. She feels like she doesn't want these outsiders coming in and taking over her spot. So
yeah, exactly. And I I kind of agree with her. I think I've mentioned before that Misty is one of my favorites. I'm a little partial to her. I agree with her. That's her turf. That's her territory. She's homegrown. Why should all these outsiders come in and get a shot? And I've been here and I've been working hard, but again, Ellie has been making a name for herself. She's been doing a lot of things. So I really think this is going to be a great hard hitting match, because any match that Misty is in is going to have some hard hitting to it. So I'm looking forward to watching it, but got to go with my girl. I'm biased on this one.
Okay, but we saw Misty take out
I don't know.
Biggie Dream. We saw the video. We literally saw the video of her taking out Vicky Dreamboat. Or was that some Hollywood magic that you're
I
gonna write
mean,
it off as?
sometimes you never know what could happen in the world of wrestling. That's all I have to say. I don't know. I don't remember that specifically. I might have to go back and look at the footage again just to make sure. No, I'm not sure about that. Not at all.
All right, revisionist history, but we'll move on. We've seen JP Harlow, Joey Hyder, and Boss Baines. We saw Boss Baines invade. I don't care how much he paid for a super chat, but we saw him invade on a mission this week. Poor Emily. I think Emily needs a better security system or something. But this is the match. This is the match that they've been gearing up towards, with King Bees, Danny B, and Charity Kane, who, in my opinion, have been a badass tag team. We saw them in the Candy Cane Lane street fight at Silver Bells 2. We were there in person. It was awesome. Really cool match. I'm gonna have to pick the King Bees here. I don't think the men's revolution have what it takes.
Well, the men's revolution don't have anything. I mean, basically, they are just jealous and I don't know. It hurts me to even talk about them. They're just we can just when the women need to win and just eliminate this feud, and they need to go about their way. So yes,
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, and so obviously, I'm you
all
already know who my
right.
favorite is
Someone's
for the
bias in this one.
maybe just a little bit. But I mean, we have to call it like it is, like,
Yeah.
because Bougie Reality has built such an incredible name for themselves. They are the hottest tag team out there right now, in the ring, on the mic, on social media. Maddie does her side character videos, which are amazing. And if you've been at the shows and you've seen their merch lines, everybody loves Bougie Reality.
Yeah, but the Birds are very talented as well. They're two very talented ladies. They're very, very capable in the ring. So I'm not saying that they're going to win, but I definitely think they're going to bring it, and that they're going to give the champs a run for their money.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. For me, they're on the champs are on such a roll. Bougie Reality's been on such a they've made such an impact over the last year since they formed. I just don't see that ending anytime soon. And I just love seeing them wrestle. I don't want to see them split up. I am not like the traditional fan that thinks that every tag team needs to break up 6 months after they get together.
And then that's
Everything,
the new feud.
right? Yeah. Can they coexist?
Hey.
No, that's going to be awesome. And of course, our main event,
Yeah.
Genocide versus Hyon. This is a dream match. This is a match that a lot of people have been asking for in Mission Pro for a while, including these two women. Like, this is going to be just an all-out war. These are two very strong, very physical competitors. You've got Genocide, who she is the bionic beast. She's 6 feet, all muscle, just an incredible champion. But Hyan comes with a lot of credibility. She's been all over the world. She brings that strong style. Man, it's gonna be really interesting to see. This will be by far, in my opinion, this will be one of Genocide's toughest competitors to date.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And I know our champion is ready for this match, but I hope she knows exactly what she's getting herself into because Hyan is no joke. I have seen her perform in other promotions, and this is definitely going to be a serious challenge for Genocide. So hopefully, I'm still looking forward to having Genocide as the champ, but if there was an upset, honestly, I'd understand.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get it. So it wouldn't be surprising, but I mean, High End does have her work cut out for her. So we're all gonna have to tune in on Saturday night and see again. That's 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Title Match Network. Make sure you're logged in. Make sure all your streaming's working correctly. Check all your connections ahead of time. If you're in the area, get your tickets. Make sure to show up because stuff happens when the cameras aren't rolling. If you're there, so it's a lot of
Mm,
fun. Um, let's dive into some of the hottest news or some of the biggest stories to come out of this week in the world of women's wrestling. I was going to start with Raw, but I actually want to start with Impact because Impact had their
okay.
Rebellion pay per view, and I know you being a huge fan of Impact because of many factors, but also the incredible knockouts division and the just the cool stuff that they do. They have so much talent. The stories are cohesive, and the matches are top notch. But I wanted to get your opinion on this hardcore war, right? So it was Tommy
Mm,
Dreamer, Frankie Kazarian, Bhupinder, and Yuya Uemura, and Keller Kelly
mm,
defeated Team Bully, which is Bully Ray, Moose, Brian Myers, Kenny King, and Masha Slamovich. And I love the dynamic between Bully and Tommy, but I love this idea of having two just really killers like Killer Kelly and Masha. It
yeah.
works for me. So, what did you think of this match and some of the stuff that went on within this match was crazy.
Well, it was definitely it was a crazy match. That's probably the best word for it. A lot of stuff went on that I probably would expect from a Tommy Dreamer Bully Ray Bully Ray match, and it was a great match. So if you haven't seen it, please go back and watch it. It was a great pay per view. So, but again, back to the point, these two ladies, like Masha is, I'm sorry, she is just something special to watch in the ring. And I think her and Bully has this crazy dynamic too. Whereas I'm kind of glad that she's teaming up with him. I think he's really teaching her if that like I feel like she's even improved more just from their interactions within the last couple of what is it, maybe a month or so, a month or two, with the last
Mm.
couple of pay-per-views. And I'm just really looking forward to actually seeing her with the title pretty soon because I know that's where it's headed, and she's gonna make a great champion. I this It was a good match. It was a good match, but the women involved were great.
Yeah, I remember. So, not to pull the curtain back too far, but I remember meeting Masha for the first time in right post pandemic. We were all in Texas together, and we got a chance to talk to her before the show briefly. This was at Locked and Loaded, I think. And I was like, man, she's super nice, very respectful. I saw her interacting with the legends that were there and everything. And then the bell rang, and that was a different person. I
Yeah,
was like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing.
yeah,
And ever
yeah,
since then, I've been a huge fan of her as a competitor. She really brings it, and I've told the story on here before of speaking with Gail Kim. We get a chance to talk to her at WrestleCade, and Masha was top of her list for people that Gail wanted to get in to help really build that knockouts division.
yeah, yeah. And just to emphasize what you said earlier, Impact has a great knockouts division. I mean, Impact tells fantastic stories, and they're consistent, and they make sense. Just to emphasize a little bit, but yeah, it was great. They had a couple of great female matches from the pay-per-view, including the new women's championship match in which Deonna Purrazzo is now the new Knockouts champion. They had her against Jordan Grace. Um, hard
Can
hitting
we
match,
go
hard
ahead?
hitting match. Exactly what you would expect from these two women. They both. I really feel like they both could have won, and I wouldn't have been disappointed either way. It would have been championship number 3 for either one. They are both fantastic in the ring. I was actually rooting for Deanna, but I wouldn't have been disappointed either way. Mickey James had to, relinquish the title because she was not cleared to wrestle. If she was cleared, it would have been a triple threat, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. So these two women got in there, and they fought and hit and pounded on each other, and um, we have a new champion. Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple things from what you said. Like, we've got to give a lot of credit to Jordan Grace for the transformation that she's undergone over the last, well, like 18 months or so, maybe a little longer than that, maybe 2 years or so. She has become just a solid muscle. She's an athlete
Yes.
of the highest caliber. She was always strong. She was always
Mhm.
a good wrestler. But not only did she transform her body and compete in bodybuilding competitions
Oh,
recently,
she's won. She's won some
right?
bodybuilding contests. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and then but to also up her game in the ring. And Deanna obviously has such a pedigree as far as her credibility as a performer, as a submission expert. Um, I saw parts of this match, and it was just that to me. That's the type of match that I love seeing on a major pay per view. And
And
we have to give some credit to Mickey James. Like, I love hearing Mickey on Wednesday on Busted Open. She's fun. She's energetic. She's a legend, and she was a great champion. And I hate seeing her have to
yeah.
relinquish the title in that way.
And another thing I'd like to give a shout out to Impact for making that match their main event. I mean, it was a great match and it stood up to being a main event match. So bravo to them for that, for putting that faith in those two ladies.
Yeah, I agree, and I think
Yeah.
we talk about this, in our own in our own conversations. Like, it's cool that we're in a world now where women main event pay per views and TV shows all the time,
Mhm.
because that's the story that commands that spot. Whether it was WrestleMania 35 with Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda, or any Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage frequently features women in their main event spot. So I love that we live in this
Mhm.
world now.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely.
it's something that doesn't even come up that often, because that's just what happens, and it's great. I love
Exactly.
it.
It's not even, yeah. It used to be, oh my God, the women. But it's great that it's becoming the norm. So yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. So let's jump over to Monday Night Raw. I wanted to get your thoughts on Trish Stratus's promo, because for those who didn't see it, she came out, and Trish is a bad guy. She basically is taking credit for the women's revolution, is taking credit for all kinds of things that she may or may not really have,
Been a
been
part
responsible
of.
for. That's not to say that she wasn't a big part of influencing all of that. Like, a lot
Yeah.
of the women that are in the ring now are there because Trish and Lita and others, Jazz, and so many other people during that time broke down barriers and did what they did. But Trish took it to a new level. It was like, okay, but I want to get your thoughts on, because Trish didn't yell.
Mm-mm.
She was very, very level, and she said what she had to say.
And not only just that, I'm kind of looking forward now to seeing where this goes. I don't know. Raw confuses me sometimes because initially we've talked about this here on the show. Initially, I've been saying, what is going on? What are they doing with Trish and Lita? I mean, every time we brought them up as a tag team, or I mean, as a trio, or working together, I'm like, why are they here? I'm just trying to figure. And you know what? You know what? Maybe I need to stop. Maybe I need to stop doing it and just waiting to see how it plays out and just try to be a fan. But sometimes I think it makes a difference between waiting to see what happens and then when the product or what's going on have you confused. And I think that's where I was pretty much with the first part of it. Like, okay, now Becky and Lita are tag team champs out of nowhere, like a Randy Orton move. And then all of a sudden Trish is here to do the save. And I thought it was going to be like a nostalgia moment, like, yay, the ladies are back, WrestleMania. And then, now I'm like, okay, they're still here. Like, majority of everybody, like John Cena's gone back home, and everybody from they're still here. Like, okay, but I'm waiting to see what happens next because she took Lita out. That brings back a lot of old blood and the old rivalry, which is very much nostalgia for me. So now I'm with Bad Stratus. I did a lot around here, and I ain't getting no respect. So I want to see what's going on. Yeah.
As you're talking, I'm picturing Trish in the ring. Becky comes out with the broom and sweeps around her and says, "Oh, you're still here? Where everybody else went home."
Like, it's crickets. Ain't nobody in the
Like a
arena.
Ferris Bueller
Lights
moment, right?
going
You're still
down.
here?
That's horrible.
Okay, but to your point, like I also thought it was going to be a nostalgic match, and then they'd go on their merry way, and like
Yeah.
that would have been fine. I'm more impressed or intrigued by a heel Trish who can bring her veteran experience to the locker room. I'm sure they like having her there every week, to pick her brain and sort of get input. Um, but she's a good character, like she's a good heel. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it
That's why
I
I'm
don't
like, hey.
you don't get that vibe. Some people come back and you're like, okay, well, they did their thing. They don't have anything else to give. But after this week, she, uh, to steal Mark Henry's line, she's got a lot more left in the tank, right? So,
Right. I agree.
the other match on Raw, we don't really need to talk about. Um, what I really want to ask your opinion about is NXT, because week after week,
Ooh.
NXT continues to feature some of the best upcoming talent, a lot of whom have been in Mission Pro. An
Yeah.
alarming amount of people have come from Mission Pro, or through Mission Pro, I should say. Um, so we have Roxanne Perez and Zoe Stark, both Mission Pro alumni, have a great match. But then at the end, we had Indy Hartwell, um, and it looks like we're going to get Indy Hartwell and Roxanne for the title at Spring Breakin'. But what I wanted to talk
Breaking.
about, it's Breakin', right? Spring Breakin',
Breaking. I
Breakin',
in. Breaking. No
Breakin'.
G's.
Sorry. It's my it's my New England accent apparently. But I still love this rivalry between Gigi and JC Jane, because ever since Toxic Attraction broke up and there's
Yeah.
been this great one-on-one feud, and it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon, and it looks like we'll probably get them in a match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And of course, so that's three different matches right there, or three different feuds right in the sense of one segment, so they're
Mhm.
accomplishing a lot here.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. And for me, I'm glad also that the Gigi and JC feud is continuing because they can take this story for a while. They can run with it. I mean, these two ladies have a lot to give, and they both are very very talented. I am personally, wanting to see Gigi get a little payback. She's been getting the rough end of the stick lately, and then now JC's the champ, and she's walking around with the title and talking a lot of mess and trash, and was even so bold as to not just actually there it's a triple threat match, right? She said, "I'll beat both of you."
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
for this title. It's not a singles match anymore. So I mean, she's feeling herself. So I like to see what she's gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. So all the people involved in this story are like just next level, and any one of them could get called up to Raw or SmackDown tomorrow, and it'd be fine. It'd be awesome. Oh, I see Brian's in the chat. Hey, Brian. Tony, I'm not putting that up on the screen. Sorry, buddy. He's trying to trick me, and he's not going to get me again this time.
Okay.
um, so what I'm really intrigued by too is we saw Josh Brooks and Kiana James challenge
Yeah.
Josh um, Briggs and Fallon Henley. This is going to be an actual mixed tag match, right? Did they say whether this was going to be WWE rules or is it going to be a true mixed tag match?
They did not specify. They just challenged them to a to a match at Summer Break-In. So they didn't
Okay.
really specify what type of match, but I'm thinking it's going to be a normal intergender match, most likely. Women tagging in and then men tagging in and then men hitting women illegally, something of that
Yeah.
sort.
Well, I think that's the thing I have an issue with because, like, I understand there's people have a certain appetite for different types of wrestling. I
Mhm.
think when done right, intergender wrestling is perfectly fine. You have two athletic, skilled competitors. Doesn't matter gender, right? Um, I don't want to see Brock Lesnar and someone from NXT, a woman from NXT who doesn't have 20 years of experience. Like that's not a match that intrigues me. But when you have people in NXT who have very similar experience levels, oftentimes the size is close enough to make sense. Where I'm here for it. We saw Rhea Ripley and I think Akira Tozawa, right? They had a match a couple months ago. It was
Yeah.
a short match, but like it was a match. They actually did, trade offense. So they're dipping
Well,
their toes a little bit, a little bit.
Well,
Um,
it all depends too, because I actually like a little more hard hitting matches. Like I know, you're not really a fan of the blood sports and things like that for the most part, and I kind of dig those type of matches. I've seen Thunder in a couple of not intergender matches where she was knocked down on her but hard by submitting. I've seen her, but I've also seen her give it to him just as much as she took it. So I mean, it really, like you said, it's a
yeah.
preference, and but I like it. I don't mind
Were
at all.
you were you at her match with Tony Deppen?
That's the one I'm talking about. I
Okay.
was
Yep.
there.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a bunch
I
of
was
her
there.
intergender matches. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that live.
Oh, hang
And
on.
those
Hang on. We have.
chops he gave her were not pretty at all. Not.
I have to interrupt you briefly. We have Casey Blackrose in the chat, who has a match with Max Heights on Saturday at Edge of Glory, making a statement.
Ooh.
Making a statement. Well, we'll see. We'll see. He does hold that. He does hold that cup. He does hold the Mission Pro Cup. So
Uh, we'll
my
see.
my money's on Casey Blackrose because he joined us in the chat. So
At this
he gets
point,
my pick.
exactly. Exactly. KC. Case. Okay.
Yeah. So the other thing I think Lyra Valkyria, and I know people sort of poke fun at like the fact that her name is very close to another
Yes,
seasoned veteran,
very. Yes.
but she doesn't look or wrestle or she has none of the same qualities as Taya Valkyrie. And her entrance is cool. It's unique. Her style is very technical and hard hitting. Um, there are so many people in NXT right now that in 1 to 3 years will be main event or will be having big matches at WrestleMania, in my opinion.
And she's definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely one of them. I love her ring presence. I love her promos. I think she's doing great on the mic right now. I mean, she's calling people out. She's making her presence known. Again, like you said earlier, there's going to be quite a few people that's going to step up at some point in time, and they're gonna make it. She's definitely gonna be a force to be reckoned with when she goes to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, and we haven't even talked about Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Like they're top of the food chain. Like they're so good, and they're working so well as a team. Like I love it. So um
Eh,
yeah, so NXT has been rocking and rolling. Let's so this brings me to Dynamite. I have some
Um,
definite feelings about Dynamite.
and now the wheels stop rolling.
No,
Okay.
no, I can't. As I always say, I can't take away anything from the people who got in the ring and did what they did. It was I have an issue with the story, with the matchups, with the stuff that happened later in the night. I think there was a lot of opportunity here for them to really get some genuine heat on Britt. I think Bully talked about it a little bit on Busted Open this morning, but we saw the Outcasts and versus uh, Britt and Jamie.
Mhm.
So it's Ruby and Tony versus Britt and Jamie. What I have an issue with is Britt took several finishers and kept kicking out. These
Yeah,
are your top people, and she can't even like I it didn't
yeah,
make sense to me.
yeah. Not. I mean, even to piggyback on that a little bit, it just it's hard to watch because it's like and you did say, like you mentioned, Bully was talking about it on Busted Open, but no one's that invincible. It's almost like she's a genocide or something. I don't know. She's not robotic. She's not invincible to the point where she can take three finishers and then nothing. I mean, well, and it's not just nothing, but she did also win the match. I mean,
Right. She
look
just shook it
how
off.
amazing she is, like, and no metal parts at all. I mean, I don't understand that. The
I don't know.
logic is not there for me, but okay, um, yeah, yeah,
But okay, so it was what it was because as is so often, and I get it. They're in Pittsburgh. Like I understand they're gonna put her out there in a. I get it. Like it's her hometown,
okay.
so that's fine. You should do that for everybody, wherever it's possible.
Mm.
However, later in the night, Chris Jericho and Adam Cole are having a discussion. Let's call it a discussion, a disagreement of sorts, and you know Adam Cole gets beat down. He gets handcuffed to the ring to the ropes. Britt
Hmm.
comes out to save him, which okay, fine. Like I know you're gonna go out there and make an attempt, but the ring was full of
Full of
Jericho and the
men. Full of men. And this invincible, super robotic woman again came out there with all her magical powers and all her magical dust, and this was going to just. No, life does not work like that. What
no.
planet are we on? Well, now this is where I'm like an uber uh fan, just a fan. You can make me become in disbelief at almost anything. I will buy into stuff that most people don't buy into, but don't play me. Don't play my intelligence like that. Like, what is going on here? There is no way. There is no way she was going to be able to do that alone. Like, he has no other friends. There's nobody. There's nobody. Does she have any other friends? Call your friends to come help you. Like something. What is? I don't know.
Yeah, where's Bobby Fish? Come on. I mean, oh wait, that's
What
right. Never
happened? What
mind.
did you do with the rest of the crew?
So
Yeah.
this is the disconnect for me because Jericho gets the kendo stick. He looks like he's about to attack Adam Cole, and at this point, the Outcasts have come in and attacked Britt, and it's um, Saraya standing there over Britt. Jericho hands the kendo
You
stick
know.
to, although we didn't actually see that on camera, I think they should have caught that moment because the handoff, it's almost like a passing of the baton, like whatever. That's Jericho's basically endorsing Saraya, but they didn't show that on camera. And then Saraya proceeds to kind of hit her, I guess.
Um,
I'm not a big one for violence with the kendo stick, but like it was what it was. Um, that did her in. Not all the finishing moves or the punches or the kicks.
but these baby taps with the kendo stick.
Maybe there was kryptonite in it. I don't know. I
I
wasn't there.
have no idea. I have no
I,
idea.
I think you have a fan in Mongrovian Mike. Trendez. um, so it was what it was. I don't really understand where they're going with this. Like I think I say this on the Nation's Corner all the time. AEW is full of really talented women.
Yes.
There's some unbelievable, just top level competitors, and I just wish that they could get stories that made sense, stuff that people would get invested in, and not to bring it back, but they talk about it on Busted Open, and they talked about it on with Tony Schiavone, and I saw a quote from Eric Bischoff this week that the best storyline in AEW right now is Britt and Thunder because it's real.
Hmm.
It is. It just, I mean, the best stories come out of reality, whether it's 50% true or 100% true, who knows? But it feels real. They're telling that story on the reality show on All Access. Britt says a bunch of stuff in interviews. Thunder had her words on Busted
Yeah.
Open this week. It just, people care.
And, and
And
and and as a person who does care, I need to see where that goes. I hope that's not the end of that feud, because it needs to have, if it is an ending, it needs to play out on television. It needs to play out on television because we've all been watching since the beginning of it. We're all vested in it, and we should be able to have an ending to our story. So the only story that was fully told on AEW.
yeah, I mean, everybody has feelings about it one way or the other. There's Brit fans and Thunder fans, and we all have our own personal feelings. We're all invested in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like the matches that Britt had that were the people cared the most about were her matches with Thunder, especially that title match in San Antonio. Like we were there and it was very loud, like really loud. And the crowd online reacted very strongly. People 8 months after she left the ring, people are still talking about Thunder and Britt, and I just hope they figure out a way to make it all work. Tony Khan did say on Busted Open yesterday that they'll never be friends. They'll never like each other. I just hope they
Well,
can figure stuff out when she comes back to the ring. And Thunder said, "No, I don't care about the title. I'm coming for Britt." I'm like, "Okay, I
well,
believe it." So
as to quote Willie from Busted Open, it's you don't have to like each other to do a good piece of business, because that's what it would be. And who's gonna win in the end? They're gonna win as far as paydays. Us as fans is gonna win as far as getting that story told. And it's gonna be a great piece of business. So let's make
yeah,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
here for all of it, man. I have no idea when all that's going to happen. Who knows? But we'll all be tuning in. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. So make sure you're tuned in on Saturday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Title Match Network, Edge of Glory. It's going to be an exciting show. And over on the Nation's Corner, we're going to be doing our show an hour early, from
Mhm.
6 to 7 Eastern, so that everybody has time to get their snacks and jump over to Title Match and watch. So make sure to tune in to see all of the man. I'm
I
super
feel like I
excited.
have so many. I'm invested in so many matches in this pay per view. If not every last one of them, I am so excited for it. I'm really thrilled about it. So yes, I can't wait for Edge of Glory this weekend.
Yeah, agreed. All right, Trenda, where can people find you on the socials?
Well, on Instagram, it is Habit Forming, HAB. oh, I'm sorry, HABIT4MN. And then on Twitter, it is a habit forming again with the capital H and a capital MN at the end. Yes.
Nice. And I am Front Row, PW Front Row across all the socials. You can also find me on Saturday night, as I mentioned, with our Nation's Corner crew. We're going to have a special show this week where there's a lot of interviews being posted on our YouTube channel. So go check them out. There's some really great ones out there. Shout out to Monrovia Mike and John and Deb and everybody who's doing all this, Tony and everybody who's putting
Yes,
all
the
the work
Nation's
in.
Corner is on location. Go check them out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So check us out 6 p.m. Eastern on the YouTubes at Nation's Corner on Twitter and at the Nation's Corner across all the socials. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications for Mission Pro Wrestling across all the socials, YouTube. We're everywhere. You can't miss us. Check it out and make sure you're paying attention to the socials because we always have stuff. We always post some really interesting things leading up to a show, and this will be no different. So,
Yeah.
all right, folks. Thanks everybody for joining tonight. We're going to see y'all next week on another episode of